What is happening, everybody? Trey here, and today, reactions to the classics. It is time to do a full album reaction and review of the Pretenders' second record, Pretenders 2. And I want to shout out our longtime friend and patron of the channel, Trucker Kev, for suggesting this one for us to kind of dive into today. And I'm looking forward to it. I have a full album reaction to Learning to Crawl up on the channel. I'm familiar with the Pretenders' debut record, and now it'll be cool to kind of fill in that gap here in the middle and hear the second and last album with the original lineup here. So looking forward to this. Enough talk, man. Let's just get into these quick facts. As I mentioned, their second record came out in August of 1981. Incorporates 4 songs that had been released as singles in the UK and placed on an EP here in the States. It peaked at 7 on the UK albums chart and 10 here in the States on the Billboard 200 chart. And as I mentioned, it is the last record with the original lineup, as the following year, the bassist Pete Farndon was dismissed, and unfortunately James Honeyman Scott passed away in the same week, who is the guitarist, of course, on this record. Pete unfortunately passed away in '83, and then a new lineup would be made for the band's next record, Learning to Crawl, where we kind of dive into some of the lineup changes in there in that review if you want to check that out. But Trucker Kev's got some notes on this record as well. I always like getting the patrons' perspective on this, since obviously it's a record that means a lot to them if they're queuing it up for the channel. So Kev says in 1981, after lighting up MTV and radio with the classic Brass in Pocket on their debut album and a little mystery achievement on the alt charts, the band had major recognition and lots of MTV airplay. So came the second album, Pretenders 2, with a lead-off, MTV-friendly, still to this day, the beloved classic Message of Love. The same band was intact. Everybody was there. Chrissy, Martin, Pete, and James. The album did really well, fueled by a few other MTV favorites of the time, like Talk of the Town and Day After Day. Not huge on the radio, but still did pretty well on MTV. They would tour this album, and before they would release their next one, Learning to Crawl, of course, tragedy would happen with the young, talented James Honeyman Scott would have a cocaine-induced heart attack and died at a very young age of about 25, and a year later, Pete Farndon would be messing with drugs, the bassist, and he would be gone too. They would soldier on and release Learning to Crawl with some great new members. As far as this album, though, it starts off just like the first album with the real badass of Akron, Ohio, Chrissy Hynde. Sorry, LeBron. Hey, man, Chrissy was there first. I'm with you there, Kev. The hard-rocking The Adulteress, followed by the whip-smacking Bad Boys Get Spanked, and it would be just a great album. And a little more just research on our side here. After the success of their '79 debut album, a great demand for more material from the band was kind of in store. However, a lack of songs precluded the quick release of a follow-up record. In the UK, they released 2 hit singles in 1980 and early '81, Talk of the Town and Message of Love. And in the US, where standalone singles had become a bit more rare by that time, these tracks were combined with 3 others for a stopgap EP release in March of '81, simply titled Extended Play. Pretenders 2 was then released 2 months later. All the tracks here are written by the great Chrissy Hynde, except Where We Note. And as always, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up. Copyright's kind of hit and miss here on YouTube. A lot of the times, unfortunately, with these full album reactions, YouTube blocks them. But there will be a link to Vimeo down below where you can check out the full thing with all the music included and uncut. Shout out to the patrons like Kev who help us be able to pay for that server space up there and have that free for everybody down there. But enough talk, man. Let's get into this thing. And the way Kev was talking and just reading about it a little bit, I'm excited to get into this record, and especially this opener, The Adulteress. The name's a bit provocative. I'm already got some ideas running in my head here. And man, let's kick this off. All right, Pretenders kicking this bad boy off with The Adulteress right here. What a way to introduce the record. And I'm huge on in an album you gotta have a great opener, man. This is the first taste that somebody's getting of your record, of your what type of sound is gonna be in this thing. And you could already tell those new wave sounds were kind of heavy on this tune, and I quite enjoyed it. We had a bit of a little mini guitar solo by James on this one, which I thought he just killed. Loved the riffs on the guitar here throughout the entire song. And I thought Chrissy did a great job not only writing the song, I thought the lyrics were impactful, especially coming from that woman's perspective. A lot of times when you're talking rock and roll, it's coming from that male perspective. Oh yeah, I got all these women, this or that, and you just kind of leave it there. Here we kind of dive into the forbidden relationship, the adulteress right here, which I thought was really tight, and the way they kind of affected some of her vocals in here, especially in that third verse where they said like, look at the spinster and she's in love. They kind of had that faded in the background and distorted a little bit, gave it yet again a bit of that kind of a new wavy type of sound to it. And lyrically in here we just get into the mind of this adulteress right here. She says, I'm the adulteress, but I don't want to be, but I'm convenient and I make good tea. I stand accused of the worst crime in history. That's my mystery. I'm the adulteress. So even from that first verse, we get the sense that she's in this relationship with this other person and knows that she's kind of in that second tier, I guess, if you will, behind the wife or significant other of this dude. And she doesn't want to be that, but she doesn't really see a way out of this, kind of adulterous role that she's in. And she continues to just expound upon that throughout the rest of the song here. And towards the end, she says, it's too late, I've made my play. Does misery love company? I'll be in the bar, you'll find me. So it just seems like a cycle that really won't ever stop, I guess. But all that to say, man, what a cracking tune to start off this record. And we're gonna keep it going here with Bad Boys Get Spanked. Man, the title alone yet again has me intrigued. Let's see what we got. All right, Bad Boys Get Spanked, our second tune on here. Martin Chambers, the star of this song, in my opinion, with the more punky, I think, drum beat that we had just from the start and kind of kept throughout the entire song. Chrissy was sounding quite confident in her delivery of these lyrics right here, which are, pretty self-explanatory. She's pretty much calling out all these guys here, these bad boys, if you will, and essentially telling them that you keep acting like this, your day will come, essentially, where all this is going to catch up to you. She notes that you're not allowed to, but you seem to get some kind of kick out of doing what you're not allowed to. You deliberately defy the rules because the law is upheld by fools. And then we just get the short and simple chorus, man. Bad boys get spanked, but Chrissy says it with such conviction that you believe every word that she's saying. And if you're a bad boy out there, hey man, maybe this is the song for you to change your ways, or heck man, maybe nothing will. If Chrissy ain't going to change you, nothing will probably at this point. But man, I thought it yet again was a nice blend of almost the punk and new wave sound that was kind of blossoming in this early 80s period. And another solid jam right here, man. And now we're gonna go to the one of the big hits on here. We have Message of Love, and this was released first as a single and then put on the album. Of course, went to 11 in the UK. And then Martin Chambers, the drummer, had a story about this. He said the song was largely formed in the studio based on a rough sketch presented by Chrissy. Chambers said, quote, "We never really got into the studio without any rehearsal and recorded a song, but we have done that once, and that was Message of Love. Chrissy likes to come to the band when she has a song finished in her mind, but this time she hadn't really finished it, and so we just rehearsed it, already set up in the studio, and it was on tape in 2 hours, basically." The song also quotes Oscar Wilde with the lyric, "We are all of us in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars." Let's get after it. All right, Message of Love. I can see why this was a big hit, man. It definitely had that kind of radio and, just kind of wide-reaching, bring a lot of different types of music fans together, type of sound and message in here, man. I think it's a message, obviously, a lot of people can get behind, just talking about, man, woman, let's come together, let's love one another. And but it didn't come across as like preachy or cheesy, which, is very easy to kind of fall into when you talk about a certain type of a subject matter as this, where, hey man, we just all need to love each other type of deal. But I thought they did a great job with it. Yet again, I thought Martin's drum sound was just fantastic, and the explosion that we had in the coda there at the end, the last 30 seconds or so, yet again just showed how easy the Pretenders can shift in sound even in the same song. I thought the bass work by Pete on here, especially towards the middle of the track, was quite impressive. I'd like to shout outs to Bridget Bardot as well, the legendary actress, and just the kind of catchiness to the chorus itself was impressive right there. And I thought the lyric, "Your eyes are blue like the heavens above, talk to me, darling, with a message of love." Just, I don't know, that just sounds so poetic and pure, and just something you can get behind. So yet again, really, really strong way to kick off this album, man. I think they're 3 for 3 at this point, and Message of Love will probably be amongst my favorites when we get to that at the end, but we still got a long way to go here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to go now to I Go to Sleep, and this was originally written by Ray Davies of Kinks fame and first released by the Applejacks. It was never recorded, though, by the Kinks, but Ray Davies' demo can be found in reissue bonus tracks of their second studio album, Kinda Kinks, and the Pretenders version was released as a single. It has been rumored to have been one of the first songs that Chrissy ever learned. At the time of the song's recording, Hind had been dating Ray Davies, whom she had met after covering the Kinks track, Stop Your Sobbing. We actually have a song battle of that up with the Kinks original and then the Pretenders version, so check that out, man. The song includes a French horn part, and Hind recalled, "It's those little embellishments that capture my attention." So yet again, I don't believe I know this one just off its title, but who knows once we get into it. But I'm excited to check this one out. Right, I Go to Sleep, man. What a what a beautiful song this one was, man. Obviously lyrically, I mean, Ray Davies is one of my favorite lyricists and just overall songwriters ever, man. Love me the Kinks, man, especially their 60s work and early 70s is just phenomenal, man. And you can just see what a star Ray was, and the lyrics here, and just the heartfelt nature of the track, the way that this person just yearning for their lover that isn't there anymore, man. I think the imagery here is just so fantastic, and you can really put yourself in this person's positions of just being heartbroken and alone, and wanting to be back with the person that makes them feel complete. The French horn was just a fantastic little touch on this as well. We had one of the first instances on this record of the keys being prominent, which is I'm seeing in the album credits, played by James Honeyman Scott as well. So, man, not only doing the guitar work but the keyboards, and I thought that added a nice texture to this track as well. Yet again, I can see how this has some of that more commercial appeal to it. Give a little bit of a ballad in there to throw with the rockers that Pretenders were known for. MTV always liked those, and radio did back in the day. So one of my favorites up to this point, maybe my favorite song. I don't want to be that basic guy that chooses the biggest hit as his favorite up to this point, but hey, man, I guess there's a reason it got so popular, and though some of these other tracks have been more impressive to me instrumentally, I thought that just with Chrissy's vocal and the French horn and just the lyrical content, it all came together for a great track right here. And we're going to keep on keeping on here with Birds of Paradise coming up here next, and let's see what we got. All right, Birds of Paradise, probably the song that grew on me the most as I went through. First half of the song, I was like, this is all right. But then as we continue to go through and as the story was unfolding more and more, I thought it was an impressive songwriting display here by Chrissy. She notes at the start, yet again, kind of getting into some of the fondness of looking back in the past of this relationship in person and how that's not there here in the present, saying, "I wrote a letter to you, my friend. So many letters I never send. I think about you at the days in the time that we had. I laughed in my bed, the stupid things you said. We were two birds of paradise." And then I thought the second verse was really kind of impactful too, as she starts to really think back to when she was a little girl and a kid, and just having the world to herself, to run away to be with the birds of paradise. So kind of a different interpretation of the birds of paradise here, before going back to the present in verse 3, noting the kind of when they broke up, I'm taking it, they went back to the room, and then the dude started crying, and I guess that was that, and she notes that this is the life they say dreams are made of, but don't forget, and please do forgive me, I still have that something you did give me. I meant to write, but dreams will outlive me. And at at that moment, James's guitar kind of ramps up a little bit to, I think, kind of bring it all down for just the emotional impact that Chrissy was going for there. So this is one too that, not being a single or anything, this is why I like doing the full album reactions, because you get to discover maybe a bit of a hidden gem or two, like a track like this, Birds of Paradise, man. So another impressive jam right there. And now we're going to go up to, yet again, another song that was a single before being put on this album. Talk of the Town went to 8 in the UK as a single, inspired by a fan Chrissy had encountered on the band's first tour. She explained, the quote, "I had in mind this kid who used to stand outside the sound checks on our first tour. I never spoke to him. I remember that the last time I saw him, I just left him standing in the snow. I never had anything to say to him. I kind of wrote this for him, so in the unlikely event that you're watching this, I did think about you." It was also rumored that the song was written about Ray Davies, whom Chrissy would date and have a child with. The title itself was inspired by a London nightclub of the same name, and this is one of those jams that was put out here in the US on their EP. So with all that said, man, let's dive into this one. All right, Talk of the Town, bringing it here. I'm glad we read that quote beforehand. Gives a little bit more of insight onto the interpretation of this track, though, as with any song, man, I like, you can just kind of interpret it however you want and run with it in that regard. But, knowing what Chrissy said about it, about the fan and whatnot, that she met on the tour, kind of gives a bit more insight here. Musically, yet again, very pretty on the ears, those guitar tones that James is able to get. It's that type of sound that I really enjoy. Almost borders on kind of that jangly pop sound that somebody like Johnny Marr, the Smiths, would really employ later on in this decade here. As far as this song overall goes, I thought it was short, sweet, to the point, man. A catchy number here. Not up to par, in my opinion, with the previous two singles that we had on here, with Message of Love and I Go to Sleep, but still a good song in its own right, no doubt, man. And a strong way to finish off this first side of music right here. And let's keep it going on as we go to a song that was written by Chrissy and James, speaking of him, and we got Pack It Up. So let's get it. All right, Pack It Up, as you'd expect with James having a little hand in the writing here. The guitar work was great, yet again. Love the riffs, especially in the middle of the song. And Chrissy, you're kind of channeling the confidence and conviction she had on our second track, Bad Boys Get Spanked, is essentially telling this person here that, hey, I'm done with you, and I'm packing up, I'm hitting the road, and I'm leaving you in the dust, pretty much, and here's why. And she just lays into this dude, especially at the very end of the song, just talking about saying she doesn't like his trousers, his taste in women, his music, his video center, all this. She notes, "You're the pits of the world." That those are our opening and closing lines right there. I'm gonna have to remember that and use that as an insult next time somebody roasts me here in a comment or something like that. But all in all, again, man, I just like the fact that this person here, they were at the end of their wits. They knew that they had to get out of Dodge in this situation, pack up, hit the road, burn every bridge. I don't care what happens. It's time to just burn it all down and start anew, essentially. So yet again, kind of a message, I think, that's fiery, that fit the instrumentation as well. And like I noted, the guitar work was really impressive. And yet again, I'm kind of liking the themes in a lot of these songs of just like that fiery just kind of conviction you have to get up and walk away. And we've had a couple tunes in a row that were more in that love space of being heartbroken. So yet again, Pretender showing they can pull off a lot of different subject matter in here and types of sounds. And now we're gonna go to the track Waste Not, Want Not, as I see here on Spotify, the least streamed song here on this record. So let's see if we got a hidden gem right here. All right, Waste Not, Want Not, bringing it in here, man. Really love the rhyming in the first verse, especially that Chrissy was doing here. I thought that was impressive, keeping that up throughout the entire verse right here. And I like the darker riff that we had. that kind of contrasted with Chrissy's, really pretty vocal on this song, for lack of a better term right here. And no holding back here either, which is something else I enjoy. Just really talking about the greed and selfishness of, those at the top of, the social ladder. And you kind of mix that in with some kind of religious imagery as well, talking about the golden calf. She knows the golden harvest reaped without intelligence. There's no chance between the heavens and the seas. In a bloodbath, don't laugh. Grab your piece of the golden calf. Waste not, want not, pick it up. Just that chorus yet again. That's quite catchy in its own right. There, you have the line, "Do unto others as you wish be done to you." There's a million lies around everything true. Make our beds and lie there. Take your share. So yet again, just you kind of get that almost carnal desire to just go and eat, feast, take all that you can, and not really worry about anything else. And Chrissy kind of ties in some political stuff too in that second verse. So a very impressive songwriting performance here by Chrissy. And yet again, I liked that riff that was going in. Yet again, just a little bit of a different sound. We're still keeping a lot of the same kind of musical threads throughout this record, but just shifting it one or two spots, to the left or to the right, that kind of keeps the listen fresh throughout the entire record. So I think that lived up to kind of being a bit of a hidden gem, if you will, based on the number of streams it has on here. And now we're gonna go to Day After Day, another one credited to Chrissy and James here. So let's see what we got. All right, man. Day After Day. What a great jam this was, man. Yet again, gotta harp on James's unbelievable guitar work here. Just love the sound on this song here. Quite uplifting, quite lively, and Chrissy again on fire on the vocals here. Some beautiful imagery in here. So talking about way up in the sky, over the city, over Tokyo, silver light, summer moon. You'll be over somebody's winter this afternoon. Talking about then shifting to the dolphins and the sea. So you can just kind of play out the story in your head here, and kind of brimming underneath this though, we have her noting that kind of like when the war is finally over, we'll meet again and pick up where we left off. So yet again, these two people separated by circumstances out of their control, and just kind of keeping those memories and that idea of, I wonder where they are right now, kind of keeping them going and giving them some hope, I think, in this. The song that was instantly catchy, and yet as you dig deeper into the lyrics and just kind of key on some of the different instruments in here, I think can reward some further listens as well. So definitely had to heart that one. Probably going to be amongst my favorites when we get to the end here. But we got 3 songs left, and now we're going to move up to the longest song on this record at 5.5 minutes. We have the track Jealous Dogs. So let's hear this one. All right, man, Jealous Dogs, bring it in here. And I think it made, being the longest song on the record, man, it made the most use of its time, especially around 4 minutes. Kind of really turned up the volume and really just let loose all the instrumentation here. James, just was allowed to kind of let the guitar roar. And I also can't not talk about the rhythm section on here. Martin and Pete, especially at the start, really laid down a great rhythm section that was groovy, bouncy, made your head bob, and then just let the story unfold with what Chrissy was saying. I'll be curious some interpretations on this, because in that first verse, I kind of got the vibe of almost like a divorce was happening. Those jealous dogs always on the alert, territorial rights. They'll take your back and leave your shirt, like that jealous bitch always wanting more. I like that kind of play. Jealous dogs, jealous bitch, kind of plays into the dog theme. The courts have made her rich, and the click of high heels down the corridor. But then we kind of get going on a little more, and then I was almost getting some vibes of just like the press, or the people who are so enthralled with musicians' lives or whatever the case may be. Those jealous dogs, they get worse and worse every time you turn around. They're sniffing at your purse, trying to figure out every little detail of your life. So I was getting some vibes that Chrissy was talking about, kind of the press paparazzi in that regard, in that verse. But in whatever the case may be, it was a really strong song here, and I think this B-side's been hitting quite well, man. Just as much as the A-side, in my opinion, man. So I thought that was a good jam, and now we only have 2 songs left, y'all. A pretty quick moving record here as we go now to the English Roses. All right, the English Roses, man. What a awesome track this was. One of my favorites, to be honest, on this record. Some of my favorite guitar work by James is on this. Moments where he's able to let loose, and even just at the end there, where you had like the harmonies, the ooh, it's going in. I thought that was great. I think the whole song can be summed up in the lines here that were some of my favorite on this record as well. This is a story, fruit cut from the vine, forgot and left to rot long before its time. This is a story about the girl who lived next door looking for someone to hold. So that just kind of sums up the subject matter of this track right here, man. And as Chrissy's able to, unpack a lot of this character's inner feelings here, there's just like almost a sense of melancholy that just is brimming underneath this song, I think, in the instrumentation. And you always like that whenever the lyrical content and the instrumentation kind of mesh together quite well, and kind of go for that vibe and atmosphere and feeling that it kind of wants you to. And I think here you kind of get that heartbreak, that almost loneliness. You're looking for someone out there, and I think Chrissy did a great job doing that on this one, man. So English Roses, our penultimate track, a nice jam here, and we're gonna finish this thing off with Louie Louie, our final tune here. Afterwards, I'll let you know what Trucker Kev's favorites are on this, as well as mine, and then give my overall thoughts on this record and score. Let's finish this off. All right, Louie Louie closing this record off, man, with a totally different sound than anything up to this point. We had the saxophone and the trumpets very prominent in that, opening section in particular. And of course, you can't see the song title Louie Louie and not think of the, old school rock and roll song, and, the Kingsmen's version as well. And that kind of tied in, I think, a little bit at the end where she mentions the Jamaican moon, don't let it get dark, though we rock out in the nighttime, yeah. Just with the subject matter of Louie Louie. Just a very fun party type of song, I think, that makes you want to get up, move and groove, have a good time. And I liked with we had a lot of kind of serious, almost somber subject matter in a lot of this record. So I think the Pretenders maybe wanted to send the listener home happy, so to speak, here. And who knows, I could be off on that, but I thought it worked as a closer, man. And that's going to take us now to the favorite tracks. I'll start off with Kev's favorite tracks. He notes his favorites are Bad Boys Get Spanked, Message of Love, Day After Day has always been a huge favorite of his, Talk of the Town, and Jealous Dogs. And my favorites here, Kev and I are going to have some of the same ones. I'll just go from top to bottom. I thought the opener, The Adulteress, was really impressive, man. I love the take that Chrissy had on that song. Message of Love, I Go to Sleep, also quite enjoyed. I'm going to give some love as well to Day After Day. I'm a big fan of that as well, Kev. It would be in my top 3 on here. And the English Roses really impressed me as well, that penultimate track. And so now my overall thoughts and score of this record, man. I thought that this blended the best parts of probably each member of the group here. I thought Chrissy's songwriting was quite impressive. Loved her vocals on this, from points where she was very fiery and sang with conviction to other points on the record where she could show her range of really being soft-spoken and heartfelt. I also enjoyed a lot of the lyrical content. As I noted, you had everything from adultery here to, just heartbreak and broken relationships, and, just dwelling on the past and what your future holds. I thought that she did a great job on this entire record, as did every other member. I thought Martin on Bad Boys Get Spanked, I thought Martin Chambers was fantastic on the kit. I also thought James Honeyman Scott throughout the entire record as well really showed off how impressive he was as a guitarist. Love the tones on here, and can't not mention Pete Fardon as well for his bass work. So all in all, a really strong record here. I don't think there's a bad track amongst the bunch, and overall, man, on first listen, I'm feeling a nice 8 out of 10 on this one. I was really impressed with this one. Actually, maybe hot take, I like this more than the debut. I know that's a lot of people's favorites, and I'd put this up to par with Learning to Crawl, which comes after this. So big shout out to Trucker Cab for suggesting this for us to dive into together today, man. Of course, let me know your thoughts on Pretenders 2 and your favorite tracks on this one, and be sure to show some love to Kev for suggesting this. And if you have any other Pretenders requests, man, be sure to let me know them in the comments. And if you'd like to have me react to a record or song for you, you can check out our Patreon page, which will be linked below, as well as at the end screen here, along with another video you might enjoy. But until next time, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, I will see you.